This is SEMTV News at 6.
This is SEMTV News. Truth first, you next. Stay informed to stay empowered on SEMTV, your favorite television station.
SEMTV News, truth first, you next. Stay informed to stay empowered. Good evening and welcome to SEMTV News at 6. I am Bariswa Christian Winger. Let's take a look at the headlines. CEO Bonju Mills of Woporaya, Oturo celebrates 50th birthday 10th company's anniversary. Federal government pledges support as Oborowori unveils $100 million fund. Plus, Russia says 7 killed and 40 injured by Ukrainian drone attacks on Bize Beach. We begin the report with Rivers State, where veteran Nollywood actor Sam Dede has recounted the controversial February 18, 1997 security crackdown in Port Harcourt, where 33 members of the National Association of Sea Dogs (NAS) were arrested by the Abacha administration, who utilized the State Security Service (SSS) and military task forces to clamp down tightly on civil society, human rights advocates, and pro-democracy groups, stressing that it formed part of the early days struggle. The veteran actor cum activist made the comment during the Warrior Soyinka lecture in Port Harcourt. Our correspondent who took the report now completes the story.
Delivering an emotional reflection, veteran Nollywood actor Sam Dede urged Nigerians not to allow the stories of victims of oppression to fade into history. He said a nation's strength lies not only in its achievements, but also in its willingness to honor those who stood courageously against injustice and defended human dignity. Sam Dede also noted that the event, held as part of the National Association of Sea Dogs NAS Martyrs Day and the 28th Wole Soyinka lecture, revisited the event surrounding the F-18 incident, during which members and applicants of the association were arrested and allegedly subjected to torture and prolonged detention under the military regime of late General Sani Abacha. According to accounts presented at the gathering, the incident followed a membership screening exercise that was interrupted by a security operation after participants were accused of having links with the pro-democracy movement. Several individuals were reportedly detained in police and military facilities under harsh conditions, with many alleging violations of their fundamental human rights.
Deliberately, the guy who put the cuffs on me put my left leg with the left leg of Kingsley Ogundu. Today, Kingsley Ogundu is His Royal Highness. So, this meant that each time they took us out in the morning to the toilet, he would be facing backwards and I would be facing, it was a horrible experience. And then for the first 1 week, we were flogged morning, afternoon, night. The commander of military intelligence read the Riot Act, say the commander-in-chief has a personal interest in your matter. Consider yourselves finished. You are gone as you are dead. Matter not serious, So for the first 1 week, flogging until the commander of 5th Battalion, is it 5th Battalion? One Lieutenant Colonel Tajuddin something. He came.
Speakers noted that the F-18 episode remains a powerful reminder of the dangers of authoritarian rule and the importance of safeguarding democratic values, civil liberties, and the rule of law. They stressed that remembering the sacrifices of those who endured persecution is essential to preventing a repeat of such abuses.
People in chains inside the cell. If this doesn't happen by tomorrow, I'm going to set these people free. And then, surprisingly, the following day, they hurriedly came and took off the cuffs. But that was the beginning of the journey that was to last about 4 months.
In a related development, renowned Nollywood actress and cultural advocate Hilda Dokubo has called on Nigerians to take greater responsibility for the nation's future, insisting that sustainable change can only be achieved when citizens actively participate in shaping the country's governance. The actress made the comment during the Woye Soyinka lecture in Port Harcourt. Ike Ruth Chinemeren has the report.
Speaking during the panel section, the veteran actress emphasized that Nigerians must first undergo a change in mindset and reclaim their power by demanding accountability from those in leadership. She argued that citizens who become more responsible and actively engage in the democratic process will be better positioned to elect leaders of integrity, competence, and vision.
When we change, then we will take back our power. We'll take back our power, and then we will change the quality of the people that we allow to sit in any kind of office, starting from your security man. Have you gone to any ministry and a security man is looking at you and saying, "Oga, how far?" Bribe, and you put your hand in your pocket, bring out 500 naira and you give to him. Whatever you allow becomes approved and it is established.
Dokubo stressed that the quality of leadership in any society reflects the standards accepted by its people, declaring, "Whatever you allow is what will be approved and established." She concluded by encouraging Nigerians not to lose hope, maintain that through collective action, civic responsibility, and sustained participation in governance, citizens have the capacity to transform the country's political and social landscape.
We're the ones who go to the people in the office and demand things we know and not to be demanded. We're the ones who steal and make them steal. We're the ones who steal our votes. We're the ones who refuse to cast our votes. We're the ones who refuse to speak up and stand up when we're required to. We, the people. The ones that they have used to constantly lie to all of us. We are the ones who need to change first. We're the ones responsible for all the alibi, and we're the ones preventing agency.
Ike Ruth Chinemeren, SEMTV News.
Elsewhere, the founder, managing director, and chief executive officer of the Bonjour Mills Limited, Ovakboraye Utoro, on Saturday, August 1st, 2026, celebrated his 50th birthday alongside the company's 10th anniversary at Aztec Acom in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, with royal fathers, government officials, business leaders, and other distinguished guests in attendance. In a goodwill message led by his wife, his friends and family highlighted the growth of Bonjour bread across the Niger Delta and prayed for success and longevity for the celebrant and his business. Our correspondent has the rest of the report.
Speaking at the event, Mr. Utoro said 2026 is significant to the Bonjour family as it marks 16 years since the bread business began, 10 years of Bonjour Mill Limited, and his 50th birthday. He said the company now operates 7 branches across Rivers, Bayelsa, and Delta states and employs about 1,500 staffs, supported by over 300 distributors.
It's not just a celebration of my 50th birthday. It's also this year is also a remarkable year because Bonjour Mills Limited as a company is also 10 years. And this is also my 16th year of my business journey. So God has really been faithful to us. Greater years ahead. If we could have gone this far in 10 years, I know the next 10 years will take us around Africa. You never can imagine where you will be. just depend on God and put in your best. Anytime I'm opportune to take a seminar, I always tell people there is a God factor and there is that you must put in by yourself. If you pray from today till tomorrow and you don't put in that your own, God will not act.
A major highlight was the reading of Mr. Utoru's autobiography by his daughter, Jemima Utoru, who reflected on his humble beginnings, the loss of Bonjour's father before birth, and how faith and perseverance shaped his journey from hardship to entrepreneurial success. Goodwill messages were delivered by his wife, Mrs. Glory Utoru. Family members and friends described him as resilient, God-fearing, and committed to creating opportunities for others.
Today, I celebrate not just your 50th birthday, but the extraordinary man you are. You are a loving husband, a pillar of strength, a man of wisdom, integrity, and excellence. Your life has been a blessing to our family and to everyone privileged to know you. At 50, you stand as a testament to God's faithfulness, grace, and favor.
Guests present also took turns to wish him a happy 50th birthday, offering prayers and heartfelt congratulations while celebrating the growth of Bonjour Mill Limited and its contribution to employment and economic development in the Niger Delta and nationwide.
Happy birthday, my son. Many years and prosperity. I can't talk English. I short of words.
Friend that is doing his 50th birthday today, a very nice guy, and I wish him more fruitful, more blessed years ahead.
Celebration of
a very gentleman,
the pride of the Niger
gentleman,
and a man of goodwill and great conscience.
In the next 5 days, the sky will be his limit.
I want to appreciate the celebrant. I want to thank God for his life, for God making him to pass the 50th time. Very higher. Higher than higher. If there's any other one,
wish him more fruitful years, strong years, and more progressive business. He will eat the fruit of his labor. He will live to save the fruit of his labor. Well, definitely that is correct. We wish him all the best, because for him to clock 50 years, he must have achieved. And look at his celebration. It's almost everywhere on the grade of the society they are here. And as a member of the Zone 16, PCRC, we welcome him and sincerely ask God to give him more blessing. I wish Bonjour happy birthday, long life and prosperity. Bonjour Mills, Mr. Bonjour. I wish him a wonderful celebration. This is the Golden Jubilee, and it's a world celebration. I wish him everything good, and I wish him more wins in life.
To my big bro, I wish him longevity, good health, and vitality. I pray that God Almighty perfect all that concerns him.
Happy birthday, big brother. I want you to know that I love you so much, and I continue to pray that God continues to provide for you, preserve you and your family, continues to give you your heartfelt desires. I just wish you a happy birthday and a long life and prosperity.
I wish him all the best. Anybody can wish himself. He is a versatile young man. It will interest you to know that he trained as an engineer. He went into the confectionery industry and he has made a name. I always love his bread. Thank God that he has clocked 50 years. Today, I wish him all the best. Any young man can wish himself. With his speed is growing, the sky will be his limit. And may God bless him abundantly. In Jesus' name.
Mr. Morrison is a very nice person to us. He has been through with us throughout his relationship. We are very, very close. He is a kind and gentleman. I wish him more years in good health and prosperity.
I want to wish him an awesome 50th birthday celebration. This is just the beginning. He will continually excel. He will expand in his business. He will have divine health. you know, and I wish him great prosperity.
Miracle Wobo, SEMTV News.
One person has been confirmed dead, while several others sustained various degrees of injuries following a traffic road accident involving a fully loaded commercial bus along Azikiwe Road in Port Harcourt on the morning of August 3rd. The incident has once again raised concerns over reckless driving and road safety. Our correspondent has the rest of the report.
An eyewitness, Joy Godwin, said she arrived at the scene shortly after the accident and met a distressing sight. According to her, a young boy was bleeding heavily, while a woman carrying a baby sustained a fractured leg. She stated that the commercial bus appeared to have suffered brake failure before crashing into the road divider, adding that the vehicle was allegedly moving at high speed before the impact. She further said most of the critically injured victims were evacuated by Federal Road Safety personnel to Brainwave Memorial Specialist Hospital, where one of the victims was later confirmed dead.
Where we people with blood, even one guy himself, young boy, to wear sit down there too for the motor, because na full load in carry. Now the boy says, where the thing up was these road safety people can't carry the boy been they breathe, but blood said they can't carry and put for the van. One woman to wear break leg because according to people they say the boy they on high speed they come, so if they break now making enter, say the motor can't divert like this.
Another eyewitness, Onyebuchi Kingsley, described the accident as devastating, saying several passengers suffered serious injuries. He alleged that the driver fled the scene immediately after the crash. He also stated that the residents and other Good Samaritans rescued a young man who sustained a head injury and was believed to have suffered memory loss as a result of the impact.
Inside the depot, when I heard the noise, so I have to come outside. When I came outside, I saw what happened. It was fatal accident, in fact, because somebody lost his life here also.
A he or a she?
A guy. And one woman with baby. The woman have injury on her leg. Her leg broke. So with those elderly man, two elderly man and the other guy over there. So we are like, the driver ran away. It was raining. So the driver was like, the brake is okay, everything inside the motor is okay. Just that I believe his speed. The way the guy was speeding. That was awesome. Because if you watch how he climbed down this thing from that side to here, that guy that lost his mind, like people that is there, they told me that the guy fly out from the vehicle.
While the exact cause of the accident is yet to be officially determined, authorities are expected to continue their investigation. Motorists also have been urged to ensure their vehicles are roadworthy, obey traffic regulations, and avoid excessive speeding to help prevent further loss of lives on Nigerian roads.
Meanwhile, former Speaker of the Imo State House of Assembly, Uche Onyegucha, has called for the complete replacement of Nigeria's 1999 Constitution, arguing that meaningful national development cannot be achieved under the current constitutional framework. Betty Victor Okeri has the rest of the report.
Former Speaker of the Imo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Uche Onyegucha, has called for the complete replacement of Nigeria's 1999 Constitution, arguing that meaningful national development cannot be achieved under the current constitutional framework. Betty Victor Okeri has the rest of the report. Onyegucha made the call while speaking at the 28th Wale Soyinka lecture held in Port Harcourt. He described the 1999 Constitution as the single most dangerous document in Nigeria, maintaining that it was imposed by a military regime rather than democratically produced by the Nigerian people. According to him, the country requires a truly people-driven constitution that reflects the aspirations, diversity, and collective will of its citizens. The former lawmaker argued that a new constitution would strengthen democratic governance, promote equity and justice, and address many of the structural challenges confronting the nation.
If we want to reclaim it as a state, it's the 1999 Constitution. It is the single most dangerous document in this country. It was imposed on the people. It shouldn't be allowed to continue to be put into use. They started with the preamble, we, the people. It was not made by the people. It was imposed on us by the last military dictatorship, and we cannot make any progress unless and until we throw away that piece of document called the 1999 Constitution. It is a very dangerous document, and as long as we continue to use it, we will be deceiving ourselves in this country.
On electoral reforms, Onyenwucha stressed the need to guarantee the full independence of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). He proposed that all registered political parties should have representatives within the commission at the national, state and local government levels to enhance transparency, build public confidence in the electoral process, and reduce the incidence of election manipulation. He also advocated the introduction of a property verification number (PVN), describing it as a critical tool for tracking property ownership, improving transparency, and strengthening the fight against corruption and illicit asset acquisition.
We must fight to make sure that INEC, which is the institution that produces our leaders, is genuinely independent. To make it genuinely independent, stop telling us that you have independent National Electoral Commission when they are all members of the same party. Let every political party nominate members into INEC. We should introduce what I call property verification number, just like we have BVN. Every single property that anybody has must be registered.
The 28th Wole Soyinka lecture brought together academics, legal practitioners, civil society organizations, students, and political stakeholders to examine critical national issues and prefer solutions aimed at strengthening Nigeria's democracy, governance, and constitutional development.
To the national scene, where the Vice President Kashim Shettima has declared that the federal government will continue to support and partner with state-driven economic reforms and investment promotion in line with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, describing Delta State as one of Nigeria's most promising investment destinations. Speaking at the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit 2026 in Asaba, Shettima, who commended Governor Sheriff Oborowori, described the economic blueprint as a bold and strategic investment agenda capable of transforming Delta into a major hub for local and international investors. Shettima said the federal government was encouraged by the Delta State commitment to economic recovery and diversification, assuring that Abuja would not hesitate to assist any state actively pursuing reforms that align with national economic priorities. Meanwhile, the Gani Fahimi Memorial Organization, GAFAMOG, has declared its full support for the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC), the Trade Union Congress (TUC), and other democratic groups demanding a substantial increase in the national minimum wage and the introduction of a genuine living wage for Nigerian workers. In a statement jointly signed by Babatunde Agumbiade and Adedoye Adewumi, the organization described the campaign for a living wage as more than an economic issue, insisting it is a struggle for democracy, human dignity, constitutional government, and public accountability. GAFAMOG commended organized labor for placing the welfare of Nigerian workers and their families at the center of national discourse, stressing that a democratic nation can thrive while millions of workers remain trapped in poverty despite being employed. The organization cited Section 14(2)(b) of the 1999 Constitution, which states that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government, arguing that the provision places both a moral and legal obligation on government to ensure workers earn wages that guarantee a decent standard of living. In a separate development, the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, says Nigeria lacks a good maintenance culture capable of developing the nation. Okonjo-Iweala made this statement today while speaking at the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit 2026 held in Asaba. Report says the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit represents a multi-colorous plan gathering designed to connect critical stakeholders to explore the abundant business opportunities in the state. Elsewhere, Taraba State Governor Agbu Kafas has signed 3 executive orders aimed at tackling political thuggery, illegal mining and drug abuse across the state. The announcement was made in a statement issued by the Commissioner for Information and Reorientation, Zainab Jalingo. Speaking on the order against drug abuse, Kafas, who said the growing problem is contributing to crime, violence and social problems in the state, stressed that the executive order will give authorities stronger powers to prevent, monitor, and prosecute drug-related offences while supporting awareness, campaign rehabilitation programs, and youth development. On political thuggery, the governor said the order became necessary as political campaigns draw closer. He stressed that his administration would not allow anyone to threaten the peace and security the state currently enjoys. Meanwhile, following the planned hike in electricity by the federal government, human rights lawyer Femi Falana San says Nigerians should not be made to suffer the consequences of years of policy failures in the power sector. Speaking with journalists in Ekiti State, Falana said the government must first fulfill its promise to provide stable and uninterrupted electricity before considering any tariff hike. According to him, President Bola Tinubu pledged to improve electricity supply during his campaign, stressing that Nigerians deserve reliable power rather than higher bills for poor service. Falana also faulted the government attempts to distance itself from the electricity sector after privatizing distribution companies, arguing that authorities can not abandon citizens to shortcoming of private operators, urged the federal government to consider taking back control of the companies if the current privatization arrangement has failed to deliver efficient electricity supply. In Africa, Interpol's African Cyber Threat Assessment Report 2026 says artificial intelligence is now driven 55% of reported cybercrimes across Africa, making attacks faster, more sophisticated, and increasingly difficult to detect. According to the report, the continent's rapid digital transformation, marked by more than 1.1 billion mobile subscribers in 2025, is being matched by an equally rapid evolution in cybercrime, while fragmented legislation and limited AI readiness among law enforcement agencies continue to weaken responses. The 40-page assessment based on survey data from 36 African member countries said cybercrime has shifted from isolated criminal activity to an industrialized, borderless ecosystem powered by AI. Report says East Africa has become a hotspot for mobile money, fraud, and ransomware attacks targeting critical infrastructure, while business email compromises and romance scams are widespread across Central and West Africa. Meanwhile, Ghana's parliament has passed a bill that will send cocoa farmers to prison for up to 20 years if they convert their farms to other uses without government approval. The legislation, which gives all cocoa farms protected status, making it a criminal offense to repurpose them for anything else without authorization, has drawn criticism from farmers. Report says government regulators set a fixed price for the cocoa bean at the beginning of every planting season, and the majority of the beans are sold through government licensed parties to protect farmers from price fluctuations on the international market. Elsewhere, former Malian Prime Minister Moussa Mara has called for national unity, reconciliation and empathy after completing a one-year prison sentence. Recall the former Prime Minister Moussa Mara was released on Saturday, August 1st after serving a one-year prison sentence for expressing support on social media for detained opposition politicians. In his first public message following his release, Mara urged Malians to forgive one another and express concern over the disappearance of his lawyer as uncertainty remains over his political future. Report says his release was warmly welcomed by relatives, political figures, and supporters who gathered at his family home in Bamako's Commune 4 district to celebrate his return. And on the foreign scene, the Italian Navy said its troops boarded a tanker in the Mediterranean Sea on Sunday, claiming it was linked to Russia. The Navy said that the personnel from one of its ships currently serving as flagship of the European Union mission in the Mediterranean Sea border the oil tanker west of the island of Pantelleria in the central Mediterranean Sea. The Navy said the tanker is currently subject to European sanctions and belongs to Russian shadow fleet used to circumvent sanctions on Russian oil following the invasion of Ukraine. Still on the foreign scene, President Donald Trump's emergency appeal aimed at limiting the use of mail ballots is poised to test a controversial 20-year-old Supreme Court principle that was intended to avoid chaos before elections. The postal principle rooted in a 2006 Supreme Court decision warns federal court against making last-minute changes to voting rules, but the principle has never before been weighed in a Supreme Court case involving a federal election policy like Trump's effort to give the U.S. Postal Service and the Department of Homeland Security a hand in screening state voters' roll for potential non-citizen voters. Reports say the President's executive order signed in March will require states to submit lists of eligible voters to the U.S. Postal Service, which will be barred from sending ballots to anyone not on those lists. Meanwhile, Russian officials say at least 7 people, including 3 children, have been killed by a Ukrainian drone on a busy beach in southwest Russia. The operational headquarters of Krasnodar Krai says that the number of people killed in a drone attack on Akikpo Osipovka beach has risen to 7, with 3 children among the dead. In a statement on Telegram, the authority says 40 people sustained various injuries in a strike near the Russian Black Sea resort of Gelendzhik. Still to come on the news stories are: Football Association set to withdraw support for FIFA President Infantino. Stay tuned for details of these in a moment. We'll be right back.
This is SEMTV News. Truth first, you next. Stay informed to stay empowered on SEMTV, your favorite television station.
Thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news stories and business. The Nigeria Revenue Service has issued comprehensive guidelines on the taxation of virtual assets, providing a regulatory framework for the taxation of cryptocurrency and other digital asset transactions in line with the Nigeria Tax Act 2025 and the Nigeria Tax Administration Act 2025. The new guidelines are aimed at taxpayers, virtual asset service providers, peer-to-peer marketplace operations, tax practitioners, and individuals engaged in virtual asset activities. As the federal government intensifies effort to expand the country's tax base and strengthen compliance within the rapid growing digital economy. In a public notice issued today, the NRS said it had formally released the guidelines on the taxation of virtual assets. According to the agency, the document established a clear administrative framework governing tax obligation for virtual asset transactions in Nigeria. Meanwhile, Microsoft has increased the price of Xbox consoles worldwide, citing a rising memory and storage chip cost. Its premium series X console with a disk drive will now cost €670 when it previously retailed for €500. Recall that Microsoft said in June it hoped another price increase will not be necessary, but blamed the rising cost of console storage and memory for needing to raise prices on consumers. Reports say in the US its basic console rose by $100 to $499 and the cost of a console with more memory increased by $150 to $749.49. Still on business, Japan, the US have confirmed that they jointly intervened last week to halt a slide in the yen after it fueled a fresh 40-year low. Japan's Ministry of Finance and U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent have said that they will not hesitate to conduct more joint intervention in the future. Report says the Bank of Japan data indicated that Tokyo may have sold almost $59 billion of US dollars to buy yen when it intervened in New York market on Thursday before Friday's confirmed joint intervention with Washington. The joint intervention is the first since 2011 when both countries took coordinated action to weaken the yen after the devastating earthquake and tsunami that hit eastern Japan. And in health, the outgoing chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association Edo State Chapter, Dr. Estes Osegale, has said stronger collaboration between the public and private sectors will help hospitals overcome long-standing challenges and improve access to quality health care for Nigerians. Osegale made a call during the 2026 Annual General Meeting and Scientific Conference of the Edo NMA held under the theme Safeguarding Standard and Advancing Clinical Practice, the role of public-private partnership in hospitals. Speaking on the conference theme, the outgoing Edo chairman said collaboration between the government and the private sector remained critical to improving healthcare delivery across the country. Still in health experts have warned women against denying their babies breast milk because of the misconception that breastfeeding causes breast to sag, stressing that breast sagging occurs naturally with age. The warning was given today during the flag off of the 2026 World Breastfeeding Week in Bauchi. Speaking at the press briefing, the executive chairman of the Bauchi State Primary Health Care Development Board, Dr. Rilwanu Mohammed, expressed concern that some mothers deliberately deny their children breast milk because they believe breastfeeding makes them look older by causing their breast to sag. Dr. Rilwanu noted that exclusive breastfeeding remains one of the most effective ways of protecting children from malnutrition and preventable disease. Still in sport, Mauricio Pochettino has agreed a deal to continue as the manager of the United States men's team until 2030. The former Tottenham and Chelsea boss, who has been in the post since September 2024, led co-host US to the last 16 of the 2026 World Cup before they were beaten by Belgium. US Soccer said the new agreement included the role of Pochettino and his coaching staff having a greater remit in which they will also advise and support US Soccer on the broader development of the full national theme pathway, youth soccer, coaching education, professional league, collaboration and other technical facets. US Soccer President Cindy Palo said Mauricio was built a culture where players trust the group, trust the process and trust each other. Still in sport, England midfielder Jordan Henderson has joined Chelsea on a 2-year deal after his contract with Brentford was mutually terminated. The 36-year-old Henderson captained Liverpool to the Premier League title in 2019-20 and also won the Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup twice, the UEFA Super Cup and the FIFA Club World Cup in his time at Anfield. Report says Henderson came through the ranks at Sunderland and made his Premier League debut for them as a substitute in a 5-0 loss to Chelsea on 1st November 2008. Meanwhile, the English Football Association is set to write to FIFA President Gianni Infantino, withdrawing its support for him and amid fallout from his scrap plans to sell off stakes in FIFA competition to private investors. It comes as UEFA threatens legal action over the proposal and was publicly withdraw backing for Infantino's bid to continue as FIFA president. Report says Infantino's leadership has already been publicly questioned by football's governing bodies in Europe, North and Central America, and the Caribbean, with UEFA and CONCACAF releasing statement criticizing the plans. And on entertainment, watch as King Franklin surprises fans by bringing Mercy Chinwo on stage at London's Gospel Garden Festival in a memorable performance that thrilled the crowd. Report says thousands of gospel music fans erupted in cheers at the Gospel Garden Festival in London on Sunday as Grammy-winning American icon King Franklin invited Nigerian singer Mercy Chinwo on stage for an unannounced joint performance. The moment showcased the growing global influence of Nigerian gospel music and the unifying power of gospel across cultures. Still on entertainment, Spider-Man Brand New Day brought in $927 million of global ticket sales to make it the second biggest opening weekend ever, as it should pass its estimated $225 million production budget. The superhero movie starring her husband and wife Tom Holland and Zendaya is only behind Avengers Endgame, which took in more than $1.2 billion in its opening weekend in 2019. Distributor Sony Pictures says Brand New Day made $572 and $2 million from more than 73,000 screens outside the US, including $121 million from China, including $49 million in UK ticket sales over the weekend. Finally, on our news at 6, Nigerian fashion designer Vicky James has responded to people questioning why her husband Femi Atere regularly joined her at public events. The designer addressed the criticism in a Snapchat video after a social media user claimed that Atere appeared not to have an independent life. Vicky said marriage involved two people joining their lives rather than keeping each other at a distance, and urged those uncomfortable with their closeness to handle their own relationship differently when they get married. And let's go over the headlines again before we call it. We started by informing you that CEO Bonjour Mills Ovakboraye Utoro celebrated his 50th birthday and company's 10th anniversary. We also told you that the federal government has pledged support as Oboruvori unveils $100 million fund to boost its economy. And on the foreign scene, we told you that Russia has said 7 people have been killed and 40 injured by Ukrainian drone attacks on Ibiza Beach. And in sport, we reported the Football Association is set to withdraw support for FIFA President Infantino. Many thanks for watching SEMTV News at 6. To ensure to follow us via social media handle is SEMTV Plus across X, Facebook, Threads, and Instagram. We're also available on ICAMSAT channel. To watch us on free to air. I am Barisoa Christian Winger. Do enjoy the rest of our broadcast, and bye for now.